Welcome back to the Cougar Baseball Network. I'm Matt Gajtka as we bring you exclusive coverage of Game 2 of the doubleheader between the Catholic Central Cougars and the Forest Hills Eastern Hawks. The Hawks now 10-0 and 7-0 in the OK Gold after a 4-1 win here in the opening game, which started around 4 o'clock on a brisk Tuesday afternoon, now evening. The sun's peeking through as it gets ready to set. Temperatures in the high 40s, far cry from my first broadcast 10 days ago here, which was approaching 80 degrees. And I was wishing for an air conditioner. Not so much today, as the Cougars now will try to at least split against their OK Gold rivals this evening. Well, that's all they can do, obviously, is split. They're 3-7 on the season. Are Tim McKinnon's Cougars. They're 2-4 in the OK Gold. They picked up a victory against Kennewa Hills in conference play last week. Also defeated Northview in a non-conference matchup 10-0 this past Saturday in their only action of the weekend. And they defeated Cedar Springs on opening day in the nightcap of that doubleheader in a game that was shortened. So trying to replicate what happened there on opening day exactly 2 weeks ago tonight when they lost the opener and then rallied back for a victory. But they've got the work out for them against the Hawks, that's for sure. Just a slight breeze tonight, really calm, in fact. So it feels a little warmer than it actually is. Here's the first pitch of the ball game for Ben Passanaw, and it is a strike on the outside corner to the leadoff man for the Forest Hills Eastern Hawks. And that is Colin Fridsma. Fridsma, the senior, playing center field, stands in on the left side of the plate and calls time before he sees the 0-1 pitch. It'll be Fridsma, then Thompson, then Farrick in the top of the first for the Hawks. And the curveball stays up from Passanaw. The Cougars got a strong start in Game 1. Adam Wanzel, the senior, struck out 7. Got into the 7th inning before yielding to Passanaw in relief as Passanaw's pitch here sails outside. It's 2-1 to Fridsma. Fridsma walked in the first inning of Game 1, came around to score on a sacrifice fly after an error on the catcher. Here's a bunt down the third base line. It's going to roll foul and stop there in the grass. That's where it's picked up quickly by Jamison Beal, the Cougars catcher, the junior. He was tracking that one, and as soon as that crossed over the chalk, he snatched it with the bare hand. 2-2 now the count after the foul. Fridsma also reached on an error and walked in the 7th inning and came around to score as well. The Hawks scored 1 in the first, 1 in the 5th, and 2 in the 7th to put it away in that 4-1 win. Opening today's action at Wally Pipp Field here at the Cat. Another home game for Catholic Central, dressed in their home whites with the white caps and blue brims. Here's a looping fly ball to center field, going to hang up. And the catch made by Maxwell Geyser out in center field for the first out. So good start for Catholic Central and Ben Passanaw. Just a lazy fly. It looked like it might have had a chance to drop in, but it really had some backspin on it. That allowed Geyser to get underneath. So now Brendan Thompson, the sophomore, right-handed hitting shortstop. Thompson also batted second in Game 1. Had a couple of hits, 2 singles. Runner takes off for a second base, and he's in there. So Thompson working at the dish, going up against Passanaw. Squares the bunt, and it's right at the plate, thrown down to third base, and the runner is safe. 1-1 the count. So somehow Fridsma ended up at first base. He flew out to center field, but I don't know if there was catcher's interference or something like that on the play. Or did I miss a drop out in center? I'm not sure. Pitch rides up and in. So I apologize for the confusion. We're all confused up here in the press box. It's 2-1. So I suppose there's nobody out. Runner at third takes his lead. The pitch in the dirt. Fastball low. Good job by catcher Beal to get down on both knees to block it. So the count now 3-1. Couple of steals for Fritzma, who stands at third with nobody out. Pitch down and in, golfed out to left field and pretty deep. Running back and making the catch was Wanzel, but that's going to allow the run to score with no issue as Fritzma comes home on the Thompson sacrifice fly to deep left field, 1-0, Forest Hills Eastern. So much like in Game 1, a productive out gets the first run across for the defending state champs. Like I mentioned, they have not lost on the season.
Number 2, Max Farrick.
Now it's Max Farrick's turn. It's the number 3 hitter. He watches a breaking ball outside for a ball. 1-0 to Farrick, the left fielder. Also a sophomore. Farrick had the sac fly in the first inning last game. Also a single and a walk. This pitch stays up high for ball 2. Thanks for listening on the Cougar Baseball Network. Radio-only call tonight for Game 2 of this doubleheader. Big challenge for the Cougars. Looping line drive down the left field line, and that's going to carry on into the foul territory. No problem there for Wanzel. He just watched it drop foul by a few feet. 2-1. First baseman Matt Stotts is on deck. Another righty. Pasnaw's ready. He's got his sign. Here he comes with the windup and the curveball. That misses upstairs. 3-1 the count to Max Farrick. The Hawks, by the way, wearing their traveling dark jerseys. They're black jerseys with maroon trim, maroon numbers, and Eastern across the front. Trimmed in white. Pitch inside and low for a ball. Ball 4. It's another base runner on with just one away, and now Stotts comes to the plate. Stotts 0 for 4, struck out twice in Game 1. Forest Hills Eastern leads at 1-0 over Catholic Central. Pitch on the outside corner, but the runner takes off for second base. The throw in, and there's no tag. Another stolen base for the Hawks. This time it's Max Farrick pulling it off. So Pasnaw having some trouble keeping the runners close in this first inning. The Eastern Hawks, coached by Ian Hearn. I mentioned Tim McKinnon returns as the head coach of the Cougars. The Cougars regional champs last season. There's a sharp curve on the inside corner for a called strike. 0-2 to Stotts. And Pasnaw in the driver's seat with a chance to get one step closer to getting back to the dugout. Catcher Beal sets up outside. The pitch comes inside, and it's on the corner for a strike 3. Stotts caught looking. Sometimes it works out your way. I think the Cougars were trying to hit the outside corner, but the curve stayed in, and they effectively front-doored Matt Stotts. So here's Jacob Paolo, who pitched an absolute gem in game number 1. The runner, Ferrick, takes his lead off second. Pretty aggressive one, a swing and a foul back by Paolo. Paolo struck out 14 Cougars in game one. Just allowed the one run on 4 singles. And now we've got a conversation between McKinnon and the home plate umpire. Didn't catch that. The umpire got ticked by that foul ball. Thanks to Pat, the PA man, for spotting that one for me. So just buying some time for the ump to start to feel okay. I mentioned we're under 40 degrees now, although it is sunny. It's a pleasant 49 degrees at the moment, but not the type of day you want to foul one off the hands or catch a foul tip off the body, that's for sure. Another downer curve from Passanoff, stays low that time, 1-1. Jacob Paolo didn't walk a single Cougar in game one, did hit a man, Jack Gritza. And the pitch from Passanaw to Paolo, rides inside, 2-1, fastball that time. James Dempsey, the catcher, stands ready on deck. We've had a line of right-handed swingers here for the Hawks. This is the 4th in a row. Will be 5 in a row if Dempsey comes to the plate. 2 outs. Runner at second base. 1-0 Hawks, and another big 12-6er drops in for a strike. That runs the count to 2-2 against Paolo. He taps the plate. Does a little windmill with the bat. Now he's ready. 2-2 pitch, another curve, and this one's inside. Slipped out of the fingers a little bit of Passanaw, and the count runs full for the first time in this first inning. Catholic Central back at it with a weeknight doubleheader here. Passanaw paying attention to the runner Ferrick. In fact, he had his shortstop Cummings running in behind. No throw, but Passanaw stepped off. So we'll start the whole process again. Passanaw from the stretch. Kicks and delivers the 3-2 pitch. Line drive, right field base hit. Picked up on the move by Baxter. He's going to throw to the plate. Here comes Ferrick. The tag applied, and Beal is run over as he gets the tag on for the out at the plate. Beal is on all fours right now, and his concerned teammates and his coach, McKinnon, come out to check on him. The out made on the tag, but that throw drifted right into the baseline, forcing Beal to catch it, absorb the blow, and apply the tag to Ferrick, and he did, getting the Cougars out of the inning on a 9-2 putout at the plate. So Paolo singles, but doesn't drive in the second run. Highlight real defensive play. Beal appears to be okay as he gets some slaps on the chest protector. We'll go to the bottom of the first. The Cougars give up 1, but it could have been worse, and now they go to the bat rack in the bottom half. Back for the bottom half of the first inning, Forest Hills Eastern strikes first, as it did in the opening game of this doubleheader today. But the Cougars limit the damage on the terrific throw from Baxter, Austin Baxter, the junior, out in right field as he charged that base hit from Jacob Pallo and gunned out Max Farrick at the plate. So now we'll see Max Geyser, the freshman. He's done a wonderful job here, establishing himself as a ninth grader, slapping it to the left side, but foul on the first pitch. It came in from Walker Brocky, the senior righty on the mound. So righty against righty here. Close stance for Brocky as he comes to the plate with the windup and the pitch, and that one is inside on the fastball, 1-1. Geyser and then Axel Cummings, the shortstop. And the starter from game one, Adam Wanzel, will bat third. He's playing left field in game two. Fastball low, 2-1. Geyser swings, pops it foul, out of play, into the Catholic Central bullpen behind the dugout. The Cougars in the third base dugout here at home, forcing the visitors to stare into the sun as it sets over I-96 down to our left. 2-2 pitch, breaking ball in the dirt. That runs the count full to Geyser. Full count pitch, inside corner, strike three. Geyser is a strikeout victim, looking to start the game for the Cougars at the plate. Catholic Central won 10-0 at Northview on a cold Saturday. We didn't have that coverage for you, but we will have coverage upcoming on Saturday. Home game here at Wally Pipp Field. Pitches in for a strike to Axel Cummings, the shortstop, as the Cougars will host Forest Hills Central. Ball inside, 1-1. So we saw Northern a week and a half ago. We see Eastern today, and we'll see Central this weekend. Check swing, not a check swing. Cummings ruled to have gone around by the home plate ump, so it's 1-2. That was a breaking pitch, down and away. Brocky has his sign, ready to go. Curveball banged up the middle, off the glove of Brocky, but right to the second baseman. He throws on to first. Safe is the call. So Cummings gets the infield hit, and the Cougars have their first base runner.
Left fielder number 10, Adam Wanzel.
That was Evan Tower, the second baseman, who caught that deflected ball off the pitcher's glove, but could not get it onto first base in time. Cummings was busting it, and he was rewarded for that. Catholic Central has its first hit. Pickoff try and a quick tag, but safe is the call from the base umpire. Stotts, again, is the first baseman. Thompson's at shortstop, and Jacob Pallo is at third around the infield for the Hawks. To Hopper, to Thompson at short. He throws on to first base, long throw, but a good one, and he retires Wanzel on the first pitch of that at-bat. 6-3, Cummings advances to second base on the ground out. So 2 outs now. Runner at second.
Right fielder number 14, Austin Baxter.
But a runner in scoring position for Austin Baxter. Pitch inside for a ball to Baxter. Also hit cleanup in game one. Reached on an error and scored the only run for Catholic Central, in fact, after a steal of second base. He was driven in by Ben Pasnaw. Jacob Pitt is on deck for the Cougars. And the pitch from Brocky is a curveball that misses in. 2-0. Cummings conservative with his lead off of second base. Pitch in the dirt, 3-0. So we'll see the approach here for Baxter. Have to imagine he's going to look at one. 3-0, trying to get a quality pitch to drive in the run, and that ball stays outside from Brocky for a 4-pitch walk. 2 on, 2 out for the senior Jacob Pitt. Pitt playing first base again for the Cougs. Oh, they got the runner picked off. Throw down to second, now over to third, and there it is. The out goes 1 to 4 to 5, and the Cougars run themselves out of that inning as Cummings got picked. He tried to get his way to third base at least, but not to be. So Catholic Central strands a runner in the bottom of the first. Had some promise, but couldn't get him across after 1-0 Forest Hills Eastern here at the Cat.
For Catholic in the bottom of the first, no runs, 1 hit, nobody left on. Score at the end of 1 full. Eastern 1, Catholic nothing. No, leading off the top of the second for Eastern, catcher number 4, James Dempsey.
James Dempsey to lead off for Eastern in the top of the second. So after the Cougars record the final out on the base paths in the bottom of the first, that one stings, but Pasnaw gets back out there, trying to put up a clean top of the second. Fastball almost hit Dempsey, but missed his belt by about an inch as Beal reached way inside to catch that one. 1-0. Dempsey, Patton, and then Dingman for the visiting Hawks. Here's a line drive to left field by Dempsey. Caught as he stumbles down to the ground by Wanzel. 1 away in the second.
Designated hitter number 9.
One of those plays where Wanzel didn't have to go down to a knee to catch that, but just for safety to get more of his body underneath of it in case he didn't catch it cleanly. That was about 10 feet from the foul line. Now the DH, Drew Patton Jr., another right-handed hitter, shows bunt, and the first pitch fastball comes way up and in. He gets out of the way. Patton played center field in Game 1. Recorded the only extra base hit of the game, a double with 1 out in the 5th as he takes a ball here, 2-0. Scored 2 runs. He was also hit by a pitch in the 7th when the Hawks added on 2 insurance runs. Passanaw kicks and delivers. The 2-0, curveball right down the middle for a strike. I like this umpire. He updates the count after every pitch. Sometimes at this level you get some confusion as to what had just been called. He's very clear. Another curve, and this one's on the inside corner for a strike as, well, Patton was ducking out of the way. He didn't see that spin. As it starts to get a little darker now, the sun's back behind the clouds. No lights here at the baseball field, so we've already had one darkness-shortened game this season. Pitch inside, and again, just missed hitting the batter in the right-handed hitting batter's box. The count runs full to Drew Patton. Ben Dingman, the right fielder, is due up next. And guess what? He's a right-handed hitter. So it'll be 7 righties in a row in this lineup. Curveball for a strike 3 called. A beauty from Passanaw as he snapped that one off. And there are 2 away in the top of the second.
Right fielder number 12, Ben Dingman.
If Dingman can reach, then we'll get to Evan Tower in the number 9 hole. Tower is also a righty. So Passanaw has the platoon advantage against 8 of the 9 hitters for the Hawks. He's got that going for him as the fastball skips in there for a ball. The Cat is busy today. We've got softball going on. I believe lacrosse at the big field. Another curveball from Passanaw. This one just a bit low. 2-0. Base is empty, though, for Dingman. The Hawks are looking to stay undefeated as they follow up their state championship season. They're roaring out of the gate here in 2023. Fastball low, 3-0. My name is Matt Gajtka. Thank you for listening on the Cougar Baseball Network. Our next broadcast coming up Saturday against Forest Hills Central. So we'll see the Rangers in here at Wally Pipp Field. We'll have the second game of the doubleheader, 12 o'clock scheduled start, although probably a little bit later than that. 3-0 pitch is on the inside corner for a strike with another fastball from Passanaw. Trying to get the Hawks 1-2-3, but here's the 3-1. Looping liner to the left field. It's going to hang up there for the left fielder, Wanzel, to pull in. No problem. 1-2-3, go the Hawks. And that's a relief for the Cougars. They can get right back to the bats in the bottom half of the second. After 1.5 from Wally Pipp Field, it's Forest Hills Eastern 1 and Catholic Central, no score.
Top of the second for Forest Hills Eastern, nothing across. Score after an inning and a half remains Forest Hills Eastern 1, Catholic Central nothing.
Bottom 2, Cougars back to the plate. And first pitch swinging, line drive up the middle, and it's a hit for Pitt. Jacob Pitt gets the second hit of the game for the Cougars. First one into the outfield as Cummings reached on an infield single in the first.
Pitcher number 8.
That was a solid strike, though. well out of the reach of the diving second baseman, Evan Tower. So here's the pitcher, Passanaw. The catcher, Jamison Beal, is up after him. Passanaw, the senior. He hit sixth in game one, did Passanaw, as he swings through this for strike one from Walker Brocky. Passanaw struck out his first time up, but then singled in the fourth. Grounded out in his third AB, and that was it for him. Throw down to first, and Pitt is back without a problem. Cursory tag applied by Matt Stotts, nonetheless. I always want to make sure, in case that runner gets careless. Brocky from the stretch, another quick turn to first, and another throw, and a better throw, a little bit closer play, but still no real danger over there for Pitt. Passanaw, the right-handed hitter, after Pitt, the lefty, slapped one up the middle. Inside pitch, fought off to shallow right field, but it'll stay up, and it'll be caught by Dingman. Shoulder high, and Pitt retreats back to first base on the flyout. There's been a few line drives today that I thought I had a chance to drop in, but they're staying up in the air long enough
number 2, Jamison Beal,
for these outfielders on the corners to pull them in. Now one out for Beal, who also hits from the right side. Hands tight to his shoulder. Throw to first. Bounces in the dirt, and it skips down the first base line. Pitt is up and sprinting over to second base on the throwing error from the pitcher, Brocky. That helps. Now a duck on the pond for Beal, as Pitt brushes off the dirt at second base. Pitt's got the high socks with the stirrups. Looking pretty sharp out there. Old school look for Pitt. Blue stirrup socks with 3 white stripes. Jamison Beal's got the more modern appearance here with the long white pants. White with blue numerals and Central on the front for the Cougars. The pitch is in the dirt, and the throw to third base. Good base running from Pitt. He's in before the tag. So a wild pitch gets Pitt to third base, but he had to be alert. That was not a routine play. Palo applied the tag at third base, and Catholic Central is 90 feet away from tying this one up in the bottom of the second. They were even with the Hawks in game one as well, as they scored a run in the middle frame, the fourth inning, before the Hawks pulled away with 1 in the fifth and 2 in the seventh to win it 4-1. Just before this game started. Brocky's pitch, called strike, outside corner, 2-1 is the count, by the way, to Beal. Walker Brocky has a clean look at the runner at third. Pitt, he's not going anywhere, I don't think, unless this ball gets away from the catcher, and the pitch was down and away, but not in the dirt. 3-1 to Jamison Beal. The catcher Dempsey slid over, and he goes down to both knees to block this pitch in the dirt. That's a walk to Beal. 2 on and 1 out for Catholic Central. Braxton Williams gets his first turn. Williams playing third base in this game. Braxton was a
number 5, Will Vanderbilt,
pinch hitter in game one.
Now batting.
Or pardon me, a pinch runner.
Third baseman, number 3, Braxton Williams.
So Williams heads out there. Beal gets a courtesy runner at first. That's William Vanderbilt. Throw to first base before the first pitch. Vanderbilt is back. Williams and then Graham Kaufman, senior second baseman, in the 9 spot. But now it's Williams' turn. He looks at a strike, didn't agree with the call. Appeared to be maybe an inch or so outside from our vantage point. We are right behind home plate in the press box at Wally Pipp Field. So 0-1 the count to Braxton Williams. Runners at first and third. A fake to third, fake to first move. That's old school. That allows the runners to reset. Pitcher Brocky didn't catch anyone leaning. Breaking ball outside, gets away from the catcher Dempsey all the way to the backstop, and the Cougars have tied it on the wild pitch. Pitt comes across, standing up, 1-1. Vanderbo goes to second base as well on the play. Couple of wild pitches in this inning. Got Pitt from second base all the way home. And in fact, a wild throw from the pitcher Brocky got Pitt from first to second. So really, errant throws from one man, the guy in the middle of the diamond, pushed Pitt all the way around from first base. Swing and a miss on a fastball in to Williams. It's 1-2. Just past 7 o'clock. We've got more than an hour of daylight left, if you're thinking about it. Foul back on a pitch on the outside corner. We'll do it again at 1-2. This time of year, though, we are probably playable until about 8:30, I'd imagine. The month of April in this part of the world is when we gain the most daylight, I learned this year. So if it feels a lot different on April 30th than it did on April 1st, that's exactly why. That's a good process to have, especially when it's still pretty chilly in West Michigan these days. We got teased a couple of weeks ago with that warm weather. And we're back to reality. We had some snow this morning, probably a little bit of snow tomorrow morning. Thankfully, nothing of that right now. Good curveball in there for a strike 3, I believe it is. Yes, it is. It wasn't much of a call from the umpire, but it is strike 3 to Williams, and a heck of a breaking pitch thrown by Brocky. That one had some serious horizontal swerve to it. So that sets up Kaufman with the runner still at second base, now 2 away in the bottom half of the second. Kaufman hits from the left side, taking low and in for a ball. 1-1's our score. Jacob Pitt singled and came around on an error and 2 wild pitches, swing and a foul to the screen by Kaufman. Kaufman taps the dish, waggles the bat behind his head. Vanderbo, the courtesy runner, dancing off second base, swing and a line drive right to the second baseman Tower, who snatches it with one hand to get the final out for the Eastern Hawks. But not before the Cougars tie it. Pitt scores the run on the wild pitch through 2 complete from Wally Pipp Field. It's 1-1 in this OK Gold matchup. Stay with us on the Cougar Baseball Network.
Bottom of the second for the Cougars. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 left on base. Score after 2 complete. Catholic Central 1, Forest Hills Eastern 1. Leading off the top of the third for Forest Hills Eastern, second baseman, number 17.
We're on to the top of the third from Wally Pipp Field. Wally Pipp, the only graduate of Catholic Central, by the way, to ever make the major leagues. Look that one up when I saw the name. Wally Pipp, of course, best known for being usurped by Lou Gehrig at first base for the great Yankee teams, the 1920s and eventually 30s. But look up Pipp's stat line on Baseball Reference, and it's a heck of a career. Moved on from the Yankees, of course. I think he played for Baltimore after that, if I'm not mistaken. But he hung around in the majors for well over a decade. As we get to 2-0 quickly here against Evan Tower, the second baseman for the Hawks of Forest Hills Eastern, trying to respond to that run scored in the bottom of the second by Catholic Central. Pitch inside, corner, called for a strike from Ben Pasnaw, who starts his third inning of work. Pasnaw winds and throws, rolled down the third baseline, bounces off the bag and off the glove of the third baseman Williams into shallow left field. That was a great break for Tower and Eastern. That ball was literally rolling down the line. And then all of a sudden, the big jump, obviously, as it hit the corner of the bag. And Braxton Williams, well, you can be wary of it, but you can never really prepare for it. You can only react. And the first time he touched that ball, it was over his head. Just deflected it a hair. So tough break there for Pasnaw and the Cougars, conversely. And we're back to the top of the Eastern lineup. Fritzma takes inside, but the runner breaks for a second, and he'll get there easily as Beal couldn't handle that one cleanly. It bounced away from him about 5 feet in front of home plate. Call it a wild pitch as Tower gets on to second base. Colin Fritzma, senior center fielder. The Cougars softball team is also playing Eastern, by the way, and that's the national anthem we hear right now. You might be able to faintly pick it up. Curveball stays way upstairs and out against Fritzma. 2-0. The Hawks back to work on offense in the top of the third. Nobody out, runner at second. Pasnaw's pitch just low and away. 3-0 to Fritzma. Brendan Thompson is up next. Fritzma singled, stole 2 bags, and scored on the sacrifice fly by Thompson in the first. Fritzma squaring to bunt very early. Pitch stays up and away, ball 4. Didn't need to bunt, as it turned out. He got on, although he was trying to push that runner to third base, and Pasnaw would not oblige with a buntable pitch. Thompson's turn. The sophomore who had the RBI sac fly to deep left field in the first inning. And it's time for a mound visit for Tim McKinnon. McKinnon assisted by Jack Hobart, Jack McKinnon, and James Pabuda. Ian Hearn, the head coach for Forest Hills Eastern. The Hawks at 10-0, as I mentioned early on. 7-0 in OK Gold. Looking at the Hawks' schedule so far, they swept a 3-game set, 3-day set, I should say, against Kennewa Hills, winning 14-4, 9-1, and 6-4, that last one on the road. Then they swept Montague in 2 in a row at home, 7-2 and 15-2. They beat Wayland in a doubleheader on the road last week, 7-0 and 6-5. And then they also defeated Wayland again, 2-1 at home in a shortened game. That was a week ago Friday. Pitch from Pasnaw to now Thompson. The pitch was in there for a strike, but the throw down to second base as the runner broke for third, and he'll get to third easily as the ball hit him as Towers slid in safely, and it bounced toward the dugout, but Pasnaw's there to back up the play, no problem as far as the run potentially scoring, but Another steal for the Hawks. That's their fourth of this game already, just in the top of the third. And Fritzma took second on the throw to third that got away. So that'll be an error in there as well that allowed him to advance. So second and third, nobody out. 1-0 the count, pardon me. I said the first pitch was in for a strike. Grounder to short. Infield is in as Cummings throws across the diamond to get Thompson. Now they'll throw to second base as the runner takes off for third. Runner from third. Tower goes home. He scores. It's a rundown between second and third, and the Cougars apply the tag finally. After all that against Fritzma, who was marooned between second and third. But aggressive base running by the Hawks. They get that second run as Tower crosses amid all the commotion. No RBI because Tower had not taken off on that ground ball, nor should he have, by Thompson. That out went 6-3. I have no idea what the second out went, but we are in a bases clear situation, but Forest Hills Eastern has added another run.
Number 2, Max Farrick.
I guess call it a double play in a way. Another big dropping curveball from Passanaw in for a strike against Max Farrick, the number 3 hitter for the Hawks. So it's 2-1. Forest Hills Eastern back on top with some serious small ball in this inning. Starting with that leadoff single that hit the third base bag. That caused all the problems in the first place. Curveball, another strike, this time on the outside corner. Passanaw has some impressive depth to that curveball. Looks like it drops about 12 inches on its way to the plate when he really snaps one off well. One more curve. This is skied out to left field. Running on is Wanzel. He's under it at the foul line to make the catch, just barely in foul territory. That's the third out, but the Hawks push a run across. One run on one hit, called an infield hit. Wild pitch, stolen base, and a lot of activity on the base pass after that to get the Hawks back on top. Go to the bottom of the third, 2-1. Catholic Central trails it again.
After 2.5 innings of play, Forest Hills Eastern 2, Catholic Central 1. Leading off the bottom of the third for Catholic, center fielder, number 7, Max Geyser.
On to the bottom of the third on the Cougar Baseball Network. Cougars down 2-1. They hung in there in game 1 against the unbeaten Hawks, and they're doing it again here. First pitch swinging for Geyser back at the top of the lineup. Bouncing ball to Tower at second base. He bobbles it, and his throw to first is late by quite a bit. Error second base allows Geyser to reach. And the Cougars have some action with the sun peeking back out.
Shortstop number 1, Axel Cummings.
Axel Cummings with his second plate appearance. He reached on an infield single up the middle in the first. Pickoff try, not even close at first, as Stotts didn't even reach down to apply that tag to Geyser. So Geyser swung early. What will Cummings do? He'll look at a strike on the outside from the pitcher Walker Brocky. Looking at this roster for Forest Hills Eastern, meanwhile, never mind, a fly ball to left field, and under it making the catch is Farrick. Geyser went halfway to second base and retreats. That's how you're taught to do it. In case it does drop, you can make it to second base. So now he's there with one out. Anyway, as I was saying, there are no left-handed pitchers on this Forest Hills Eastern roster, as they do list which side the players bat and throw from. So that's interesting. Of course, the high school levels, right-handed is the predominant way for the most part. Brocky's pitch stays up. Stolen base attempt here, and he is safe. Good job from Geyser to get into that right side of the bag, get his foot down before the tag was applied on the really a strong throw from the catcher Dempsey down to Thompson, the shortstop. But Geyser moves up a bag. First steal for the Cougars in this game. 1-0 the count to Cummings. He swung and missed, but the ball got away toward the on-deck circle by the Cougars dugout. That wild pitch will allow Geyser to get to third. A 1-1 count. Or pardon, I said Cummings is Wanzel at the plate. Cummings flew out to left field. So it is Wanzel, lefty hitter. Ground ball, fair ball down the right field line. That'll score the run, tie this game at 2 as Geyser comes across. Wanzel busting it, trying to get down to second base. He'll get there, no problem at all. No throw, really, in effect, as Dingman had some trouble digging it out of the right field corner as it got, well, maybe about 250 feet down the line before he could track it. RBI double for Wanzel, and the Cougars are back level with the Hawks. Good fight so far from Catholic Central.
Austin Baxter.
Both times in this game when they've fallen behind, they've gotten right back into even terms relatively quickly. This time immediately after the Hawks got their go-ahead run. A foul high off the screen from Baxter. He was disappointed himself. He waited on that off-speed pitch but couldn't drive it. Baxter and then Pitt, who singled and scored in the second. Baxter walked in the first. Curveball stayed up, but it's popped up. Second baseman Tower back, reaches up with two hands to snag it about 10 feet behind the infield dirt. 2 away in the third. Wanzel stays at second base. And here's Pitt. Pitt was denied his RBI opportunity in the first inning when Cummings was picked off second base. Now Wanzel is there with 2 away. And the pitch from Brocky is low and away for a ball. Pasnaw's on deck for Catholic Central. Pitt, another lefty. Pitt waggles the bat, waits for the pitch from Brocky. That breaking ball is in the dirt. 2-0, your count. Pitt wiggles and steps in. Pickoff try at second base, and fairly close play as the tag came down on Wanzel's helmet. But he was in there. Tag applied by Evan Tower out at second base. Shortstop Brennan Thompson is pounding his glove behind the runner, trying to psych him out. Foul ball on the check swing. It's 2-1 to Pitt. Pitt, confident looking hitter at the plate. Looks very calm up there. Waits for the 2-1 from Brocky. No, another pickoff try and a fantastic play by Thompson to just keep that on the infield as he dived across the bag to snag it. That was nearly big trouble for Eastern. That could have easily gotten Wanzel down to third if he could have located where that ball ended up. That's always the hardest part for the runner diving back, as this pitch stays down and in. Bounced in there, in fact. 3-1. But it's not an automatic thing you're going to get to third base if the throw does sail into the center field area. Brocky's pitch, up and away, and slap foul, out of play by Pitt. Full count. Wanzel drove in Geyser, who reached on an error to start this inning. Pitt golfs this one. Very shallow left field. Shortstop Thompson, in fact, over to reach and catch for the final out of the bottom of the third. But not before the Cougars push one across to tie it once again. We're 2-2 through 3 from Wally Pipp Field on the Cougar Baseball Network.
For Catholic Central in the bottom of the third, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 hawk error, 1 left on base. Score after 3 complete innings, tied at deuces. Leading off the top of the fourth for Forest Hills Eastern, first baseman, number 11, Matt Stotts.
Stotts, Paolo, and Dempsey, the hitters due up for Eastern in the top of the fourth inning. I'm Matt Gajtka. You are listening to the Cougar Baseball Network, coming to you live on YouTube or archive version after the fact, always available as well. Thanks to Reagan Cleaves for setting things up on the channel again this year. He'll be joining us next month as the pitch rides up and in from Passanaw and plunks Stotts right on the lead shoulder. And the right-handed hitter trots down to first base.
Third baseman, number 15.
To a cheer from his teammates in the visiting dugout down to our right. First hit by pitch of this game. Got a couple of close calls from Passanaw. He's been unafraid to pitch inside. Probably why he, for the most part, he's kept this Eastern lineup off balance. They've got a couple of singles, but they haven't hit anything really that hard. Scoring to bunt is Paolo. He takes a ball, throw to second base as the runner takes off anyway, and he's in there. Stotts makes it under the tag of second baseman Kaufman. Actually, the count is 0-1. That was called a strike to Paolo. Jacob Paolo, who pitched a beauty in Game 1, complete game win, gave up just the 1 run on 4 hits, all singles, struck out 14 Cougars in 7 innings. Curveball inside corner on Paolo. He squared the bunt again, pulled the bat back. Always tougher to bunt those off-speed pitches when they have quite a bit of movement to them. And that one started at his head. Capello's back in there. What do we do on 0-2? Waggling the bat, looking like he's going to hit. And he will swing away. Well, he'll watch a pitch. Strike 3 called outside corner. Big pitch, big out for Ben Pasnaw and the Cougars as they keep that runner at second base for now. Stotts standing there.
Catcher number 4, James Dempsey.
So no bunt for the Hawks. They do get the runner to second base either way, which I guess is the objective. They were willing to give up an out to get it 90 feet further. Pasnaw's pitch out of the stretch. Swing and a pop fly by Dempsey, the catcher, back over the screen in our direction. Dempsey wearing what appears to be a light hoodie underneath his baseball jersey. 'Tis the season for that kind of setup. He holds the bat tight to his right shoulder. Standing rather upright, calls for time and gets it from the home plate umpire. Pasnaw a little more deliberate than his opposing number, Brocky, but not by much. Pasnaw checks the runner twice. And now steps off as he turned back toward second base. No throw, no tag. In fact, neither the second baseman Kaufman or the shortstop Cummings took more than a step towards second base. But that resets things. Stotts about 5 steps off of second base. Feinting, looking, Pasnaw looked at him. Now he throws a curve in for a strike. There goes Stotts to third base. The throw from the catcher down to second, and it's dropped. Well, the collision between Cummings and Kaufman there, neither one of them really called it on the throw from Beal. And so Stotts gets to third base on the play. They might have had a chance to nab him otherwise. Eastern just continues to send runners. Coach Ian Hearn obviously believes in pushing the envelope. So runner at third base. And a curveball, strike 3 to Dempsey. Pasnaw's riding that deuce, especially in this 4th inning. 2
Here, number 9, Drew.
caught-looking strikeouts. Now if he can just get one more out, he'll be unscathed in this frame. It's the DH, Drew Patton. Batting gloves tucked into his back pocket, takes a fastball upstairs for a ball. Ben Dingman will be next if Patton reaches. Patton struck out looking on a full count in the second. It's 1-0 to him right now. Passing off. Back to the windup with the runner at third base. Another curve. This one looked good to me, but apparently just stayed up, I'm guessing. Of course, the ump doesn't tell you where it missed. Unless you're the catcher and you ask politely. 2-0. Stotts the runner at third. Hit by the pitch to start this inning. Fastball outside, way outside. Beal had to slide to block it. 3-0 to Patton. Now no reason to give Patton a cookie, but it's not the part of the ball game where you want to be putting too many runners on. Patton is squaring to bunt. And the pitch, the fastball, comes in for a strike. I think that was just a way to try to throw Pasnaw off his game. Didn't work. It was a beauty of a fastball that creased the outside corner of the dish. So now it's 3-1. Pretty sure Patton's going to be swinging away here. Waggling the bat slowly is Patton. Pasnaw is ready for the 3-1. Ground ball to third. Diving stop made there by Williams. Gets up and throws across and not in time. Would have taken a heck of a play. Run scores as the ball gets away down the first baseline. Picked up by the second baseman. And Kaufman's throw to second is not in time to get Patton, who just kept running. Infield hit and a throwing error. RBI for Patton. Stotts comes across, and again, the Hawks take a 1-run lead. 3-2.
Number 12, Ben Dingman.
And again, a leadoff base runner scores for the Hawks. That's 3 times in 4 innings that's happened. And it's all been small ball stuff. Again, an infield single. Now Passanant trying to make that errant throw from Williams. Irrelevant as he fires the first pitch to Dingman. That's a ball. Patton pretty close to that second base bag. Passanant, a couple of looks down, and the pitch from the stretch. Curve, check swing. Now he went around for strike 1. Getting a dusky feel out now. 7:35 p.m. on a Tuesday night. Last week of April. 2 weeks into the baseball season for the Cougars. They've played 10 games. They've won 3. 2 of them in the OK Gold. Curve up and in. They beat Cedar Springs on opening day in Game 2 of that doubleheader. And they also beat Kennewa Hills 9-1 on the road. So 1 win at home, 1 win, or 2 wins on the road. Also winning 10-0 at Northview was a Catholic Central. This one's hit well out to left field, and a sliding catch made for the final out of the inning by Wanzel. Adam Wanzel goes down to the grass to secure it for the 3rd out, but not before the Hawks get another single run across. Just 1 hit in the inning. Infield single drives in the go-ahead run this time. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Can Catholic Central respond once again? We'll find out in just a moment on the Cougar Baseball Network.
4 after 3.5 complete innings. Forest Hills Eastern 3, Catholic Central 2. Leading off the bottom of the 4th for the Cougars, pitcher number 8, Ben Passanant.
Bottom of the 4th. Halfway through this one from Wally Pipp Field, barring extra innings. The Cougars have scored runs, single runs, in each of the last 2 innings. Now Passanant, the starting pitcher, looks at a strike. Breaking ball inside corner. Swings and fouls one down the 3rd baseline. Well foul. It's now in the hole 0-2 against Walker Brocky, who's given up a couple of runs. 3 Cougar hits. 2 singles and a double. That pitch is in the dirt. 1-2 to Passanant. Brocky's pitch, fouled, straight back. We'll do it again. Sunset is scheduled for about an hour from now, 8:36 on this April the 25th. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Passanant is down swinging. He's 0 for 2 in Game 2.
Catcher number 2.
Jamison Beal steps to the plate. So the Cougars, who got their leadoff man on in each of the last 2 innings and scored runs subsequently, do not do it here in the 4th. Fastball sails low to Beal, who walked and reached second base on a wild pitch in the 2nd, but was stranded. That pitch is low. Good eye from Beal. Barely low. On 2-0, grounded sharply up the middle, but a fine play by Thompson. Throws on to first in the dirt. Thompson gloved it cleanly, but winged it a little too low, and Beal is in there safely at first base.
Third baseman, number 3, Braxton Williams.
Safe on the E6 is Beal. Braxton Williams to the plate.
For Beal, number 5, Will Vanderbilt.
Will Vanderbilt will run for Beal as he did back in the second. So when I said Beal reached second in the second, he actually didn't. It was Vanderbilt who did it for him. By the way, the catcher's gotten on base a couple of times for the Cougars. Now Williams, who struck out looking in the second. Pickoff attempt. Nothing doing there. According to my Apple Weather app, last light is at 9:06 p.m. I'm not even sure what last light really means, but apparently it's an official term. Another grounder up the middle. Again, it's Thompson. Again, he throws to first, and this time he does get the out. I just had that as the second out of the inning. Oh, that's right. Passanoff struck out. And that's it for the bottom half of the fourth. So Walker Brocky quickly puts out that fire, and we'll go to the fifth. Your score, Forest Hills Eastern 3 and your Cougars 2.
For the Cougars in the bottom of the fourth, no runs, no hits, nobody left on. Score after 4 complete innings of play, Forest Hills Eastern Hawks 3, Catholic Central Cougars 2. Leading off the top of the fifth for Forest Hills Eastern, second baseman, number 17, Evan Tower.
On to the fifth, Evan Tower leads off, the number 9 hitter for Forest Hills Eastern. I apologize, last inning, didn't see the touch of the bag by the shortstop Brennan Thompson as he came across, so that was a double play, 6-3, not just a put out at first base, hence my confusion. I'm still getting into the flow here of baseball season. Sorry about that. Either way, Walker Brocky and the Hawks got back to the dugout, and they bust out the bats again. Tower takes a ball to start his AB. Passanoff winds and fires. Grounded on the high pitch down to third base and right through the legs of Williams into shallow left field. That E5 allows Tower to reach. And for the fourth time in 5 innings, the Hawks have their leadoff man on. Back to the top of the order. That flips it over for Colin Fridsma, who's playing center field in this game. He walked in the third, singled, and scored in the first. Fridsma hitting from the left side, the only lefty in this order for the Hawks. Showing bunt, takes a curveball that looped right over his head for ball 1. So again, we expect Eastern to get some action on the base paths. They've been doing that all day long. putting pressure on the Cougars defense. Pick-off throw, but Passanaw didn't have much element of surprise. They're hard for a right-handed pitcher to really be a good pick-off artist. The lefties have such an advantage in that area. So we play 7 innings in high school baseball. It's getting late for the Cougars. Just down 1, another pick-off try. They still have 9 outs to give at the plate, of course, but the equivalent of being in the 6th inning of a major league game. Pardon, the 7th inning, I should say. Pitch high, and the runner got about 10 steps off of first base, but he retreats back after Beal leaped up to catch that pitch from Passanaw. Passanaw working his 5th inning. He also came on in relief in game 1. Adam Wansdell pitched well for the Cougars, holding the defending state champs to just 4 runs on 4 hits. 3 of them singles, 1 double in game 1, but the Cougars still fell 4-1. Now trailing 3-2. It's been a battle here in OK Gold action. Catholic Central's won twice in conference. They're 2-4 against league foes. Passanaw checks the runner. The 2-0 pitch, curve again high, and they've got the runner picked off. Throw down to first base. Pitt is running after him. He's going to make the quick throw down to second, and he is out. Tag applied by Cummings, the shortstop who came across. So for the first time, the Cougars make the Hawks pay for a mistake on the paths, and it's 1 away. 3-0 to Fritzma. But the important thing is the out recorded and the base runner erased. Play goes 2-3-6. I can tell you that one offhand. Unlike the rundown from a couple of innings ago. Strike on the outside. It's 3-1 to Fritzma. Thompson on deck. Tower reached, and now he's gone. Just strayed too far on that 3-0 pitch. Maybe betting Beal wasn't going to be able to control it. He can't block this one, can Beal, but it doesn't matter. No runners on. It's ball 4. Well outside and in the dirt. Fritzma gets on, basically exchanges positions with Tower after a couple of pitches. Thompson's turn to hit. The number 2 man in the batting order hit a sac fly in the first. Grounded to short in the third. The Hawks scored single runs in the first, third, and fourth. Pickoff attempt. Runner back safely on the tag from Pitt. Pretty impressed by Pitt's speed as he nearly got to the runner Tower. Chased him pretty close to second base before he made that quick trigger throw. Passanaw, big overhand pickoff try. And again, Fritzma is back. Outfielders pretty much playing it straight up against the righty hitting Thompson, who flashes bunt. No surprise. Here's the pitch. Runner goes from first. It's a ball, and the throw down to second base, not in time. So shortstop Cummings just leaped up to grab it in front of the base. Didn't make a tag. Fritzma got too good of a jump. Stolen base on ball 1. By my count, 6 steals for the Hawks in game 2. Foul ball on the curve. Back to our right toward the concession stand. Now 0-2, excuse me. It was a first pitch strike. The ump didn't make the initial call with all the activity, of course, the throw going to second base. 0-2, 1 out. Fritzma at second. Thompson at the plate. Beal sets up, outside corner. Curve ball fouled at the plate. Check swing from Thompson. Didn't take a full cut. Might have heard the ting of aluminum. Thompson takes a slightly open stance at the plate. Fritzma's just a couple of steps off second right now. The Cougars don't pay him much attention. Thompson rather swings and pops it. Foul, out of play. Over our heads and right back onto the field where the lacrosse nets are set up. That one's artificial turf. This one's natural grass. The softball team also plays on the real stuff. They're playing Forest Hills Eastern as well, just across the way at the Cat. Curveball just inside. That was a good-looking pitch. Hard to believe Thompson laid off, actually. I'd classify that as too close to take, but he took it anyway. Probably just fooled by the spin. Passanaw's been snapping him off today. So it's 1-2. Extended at bat here with a couple of foul balls from Thompson. He swings, grounds it left side. That one's foul by a few feet. And we'll do it again, 1-2. The Cougars trying to keep the Hawks off the plate for the first time since the second inning. Here's the stretch in the pitch, and Thompson, bit of an excuse me swing, skies it on the left side of the infield. Coming across to make the routine catch is Williams for the second out. Williams, the third baseman, squeezes it. Thompson went upstairs to hit that, and like I said, it was kind of a punch follow-through. Max Farrick, the number 3 hitter. 0 for 1 with a foul out and a walk. Righty-on-righty matchup. This curve high and inside. Beal fakes the throw to second, but Fritzma back without testing things too much. 1-0 the count. This is Matt Gajtka on the Cougar Baseball Network. Can Catholic Central collect its second home win? It'll be a comeback one if they do get it here tonight. Called strike on the outside corner. 1-1. Coming up in the bottom half, Kaufman, Geyser, and Cummings for Catholic Central, but still one more out to take care of here with a runner at second base, Fritzma. Again, his lead is conservative. Line drive the opposite way, bounced by Pitt into shallow right field. Picked up on the move by Baxter, runner coming to the plate, and he is safe. In fact, it was cut off by Pitt, and the ball bounced off his glove toward the screen. That allowed Farrick to get onto second base. Max Farrick with an RBI single. Didn't hit it terribly hard, but he got it through, and with 2 outs, that was going to be a tough play to make at home plate against the speedy Fritzma. And Baxter could not do what he did back in the first inning when he threw out Farrick at home. So Fritzma, a little more speed, perhaps a better read on that one too. And the Hawks push another run across here in the 5th. They've scored in 3 consecutive innings. This time, not the leadoff man scoring, but the number 2 guy in the inning, Fritzma.
Number 11, Matt Stotts.
Matt Stotts now at the plate, and he walks down to talk to his coach, who's at third base right now, Ian Hearn, about some strategy concerns with runner at second base and 2 outs. I don't know if I expect the Hawks to try to steal an extra 90 feet. Not sure if it's worth it there with 2 away. But if there's a team to roll the dice, it's probably them. And they've been mostly successful in that throughout the day in this OK Gold doubleheader. So now it's 4-2. And Passanaw's first pitch, swinging a pop-up. Stotts, left center field, calling for it and making the catch, Wanzel. You could hear him say, I got it from all the way here in the press box. Routine catch for him. That ends the inning, but again, not before the Hawks score another single run. This time with an actual hit to the outfield, though. Farrick driving in Fritzma with 2 away and pushing that Eastern lead to 2 runs for the first time in Game 2. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. The Cougars now have to put their hitting shoes on. Still 9 outs to go in this nightcap. Stay with us.
Top of the 5th for Forest Hills Eastern. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left on. Score after 4.5 innings of play. Forest Hills Eastern 4, Catholic Central 2.
Bottom of the fifth, first pitch swinging for the Cougars, Kaufman, rather, and that's out of play, left side.
Bottom of the fifth for Catholic Central, second baseman number 4, Graham Kaufman.
It's Graham Kaufman, the senior. And then back to the top of the order, Geyser and Cummings. He takes a strike, does Kaufman, 0-2. Walker Brocky working quickly into his fifth inning. And an outside corner pitch, slapped foul again. Out of play, same direction, left side. Back down into the marshland, into the woods. Separates the Cat from Interstate 96. Almost a quick pitch there from Brocky. He's ready again. That sails up and away. 1-2, your count, to Kaufman, who lined out to second base in the second inning. Time called by Kaufman and granted. Big night in Major League Baseball, of course. Tuesday night, everyone's in action. Swinging a foul. We'll do it again, 1-2 from Kaufman. Breaking ball, just missed on the outside corner. Brocky wanted that. He didn't get it. Tigers playing the Brewers tonight in Milwaukee. Nothing in the bottom of the first inning. 2-2 pitch grounded right toward the eastern dugout and picked up by one of the coaches and winged back to the mound. Someone's in a show-off mood. I think that was a coach. Guy had a jacket on. Looked like a fully grown adult. 2-2 pitch, curveball, again a foul back from Kaufman, who's battling hard here against Brocky. I'm from the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. My Pirates continue their rampage across the National League. They're up 7-3 on the Dodgers at home tonight. Best start for the Buccos since 1992. I can scarcely believe it. They just signed their center fielder Brian Reynolds to a long-term contract. Things are good at PNC Park. Pitch up here at Wally Pipp Field for a 3-2 count. So Kaufman's battled back from 0-2. Leadoff hitter. It's a high-leverage spot. You don't often call it that in baseball, but it is. Pitch inside. Nearly hit Kaufman. Didn't matter. Either way, he was getting to first base as long as he didn't swing at it, and he didn't. So there's a big base runner for Catholic Central. So work here in the bottom of the fifth inning. There's the scoreboard back. Sorry about that. Calling play-by-play and producing at the same time, it doesn't always go perfectly. Max Geyser struck out in the first, reached on an error and scored in the third. Now at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Other scores of note, the Rays, who've lost, I think, just 3 times this year. They're down 2-0 to the Astros. Swing and a miss from Geyser for strike one. AL Central scores Blue Jays ahead of the White Sox up in Toronto. A pitch outside. 1-1 for from Brocky to Geyser. Cummings on deck. Geyser a lefty. The Cougars' first 6 batters alternate. Lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty. Fastball down and in. 2-2. Brocky ready for the stretch and the pitch. A few inches inside, nearly hit Geyser. 3-2. So here we go. Speaking of high leverage, runner on base. Kaufman hasn't acted like he's going to try to steal second base. Down and in for ball 4. Back-to-back walks, and the Cougars have something cooking in the bottom of the 5th. And our first mound visit for Forest Hills Eastern with Wanzel and Cummings lurking. Pardon me, Cummings first, then Wanzel. We have a signal to the press box from the Cougars coaching staff.
There's 1 out and there's actually 0. I can't change the outs without resetting the whole board.
Oh, okay. They were saying there's nobody out, and we had just a mistake here. You can't go backwards with the outs. Unfortunately, that'd be a nice feature, but you can't do it. There's 1 out on the board, but there are no outs in reality in this game. And it's a pitching change for Forest Hills Eastern. Those numbers are tough to read. I'll see if I can get a look at who is out there now. As Coach Ian Hearn is consulting with the home plate umpire to tell him the change, or changes. It's number 18, Owen Mast, in for Brocky. So Walker Brocky goes 4+. Does not record an out here in the 5th, and he's responsible for both runners. Kaufman at second, Geyser at first. Nobody out. Owen Mast, number 18, senior, like Brocky. Other AL Central scores, Yankees lead the Twins in Minnesota 1-0, top of the 2nd. And later tonight, Royals at D-backs. Mentioned the Tigers in a scoreless game early against the Brewers. And for you NHL fans out there, the Islanders lead the Hurricanes 1-0 through 1 period of play in Carolina. The Hurricanes trying to close out New York and be the first team to advance to the second round. It's been a really competitive, entertaining first round of playoff action in the Stanley Cup. Later tonight, Wild at Stars in a series tied 2-2. That's 8 o'clock Eastern. And at 9:30 Eastern, the Kings at the Oilers in another wildly entertaining series. That one's also 2-2 after a big Oilers comeback in Game 4 down in L.A. So nobody out. Owen Mast, the new pitcher. Cummings at the dish. Cougars down 2 runs, bottom of the 5th. Mast steps off. Got started with the motion and decided to abort as he wanted to keep Kaufman as close as he could down at second base. Mast wearing the black hat with the white front panel and the Hawks logo right in the middle in red. Black tops for the Hawks, gray pants on the road. The Cougars in all white with a blue trim. Outside corner for a strike on pitch number 1 to Cummings, who's 1 for 2 with an infield single.
Number 1, Axel Cummings.
Axel Cummings, the junior, has a chance to swing this game in a big way with a big hit. Mast throws down to second base, not in time. The shortstop Thompson was over to make the cursory tag. Mast 0-1 pitch is a curveball and a beaut on the outside corner for strike 2. The 0-2 pitch, line drive left side and foul from Cummings. He was all over that. Too much all over that. A little too quick. So the count remains 0-2. And that was another off-speed pitch from Mast. Here we go again. Mast with the closed stance. Comes to the plate from the stretch. Swing and a miss on the curveball. A few inches off the outside corner. Huge first out for Forest Hills Eastern to get. The runners stay put, of course.
Left fielder number 10.
And it's the left fielder and the starting pitcher in Game 1, Adam Wanzel. He's made some pretty tough catches out there in left field in Game 2, including one to end the top of the 5th. Here's the pitch from Mast, fouled straight back. Boy, Wanzel was right on that. Just maybe a tick off in terms of timing. The opposing players from each dugout fought for that foul ball behind the plate. That was interesting. Anyway, 0-1. Adam Wanzel, left-handed hitter. Tall stance at the plate. Takes a look at this pitch. Upstairs on the off-speeder. I think it was an off-speeder. 1-1. Wanzel had a couple of RBIs in that 10-0 win against Northview this past Saturday on the road. 1-1 pitch. Down and in. 2-1. The Cougars have collected 2 walks in this inning. No hits yet. Catholic Central trying to make it 2 wins in 3 games for the first time this year. Here's the pitch. Line drive, center field, sinking quickly. Caught on the run by the center fielder. It's going to be a double play at second base. Fridsma made the catch, and Kaufman thought it was going to drop in. Had a chance, but he didn't even look back over his shoulder. He was dead meat once that ball was caught. A double play at second as Kaufman's doubled off. So a strikeout and a double play on the line drive to center field gets the Hawks out of the inning. No damage done by Catholic Central. That one stings as we'll go to the top of the 6th. Still the score, Forest Hills Eastern 4 and your Cougars 2.
The Cougars, the bottom of the 5th, no runs, no hits, 2 walks, 1 left on. Score after 5 full. Forest Hills Eastern 4, Catholic Central 2. Fielding changes for the Cougars. Now pitching, number 4, Grant Kaufman. Playing third base, number 8, Ben Pasnaw.
New pitcher for Catholic Central as we go to the top of the 6th.
Number 3, Braxton Williams.
Ben Pasnaw is done after 5 pretty solid innings, I would say. He didn't get squared up very much, but the Hawks have been aggressive on the bases, and they put the bat on the ball in some key situations. They have 4 runs here.
Third baseman, number 15, Jacob Pallow.
On just a handful of hits, 5 hits. None of them for extra bases. Here's a swing and a grounder on the first pitch down to shortstop. Cummings picks it up on the move, but his throw pulls the first baseman Pitt off the bag vertically. Wouldn't have been an out anyway, as Pallow was busting it down the line. Infield single.
Number 4, James Dempsey.
Too short. Leadoff runner on again for the Hawks. What else is new? They've done it in 5 out of the 6 innings now. Dempsey to the plate, the catcher, and then Patton after him. New pitcher for the Cougars is the former second baseman, Graham Kaufman. He's in. So Williams, who was the third baseman, moves across the diamond to second, and the pitcher, Pasnaw, is now playing third. That completes the changes. So no changes to the lineup, just to the defensive positioning. And, of course, the battery. Pitch on the outside corner for a strike from Kaufman to Dempsey. The home plate ump spoke to both coaches between innings. Sun's getting low. We're about 25 minutes from sunset officially. This might be the last inning they'll play as we start the top of the 6th. Pitch is outside for a ball. Runner takes off, and he's in there. Pallow steals a bag. That's the 7th steal for the Hawks in Game 2. 1-1 the count now to Dempsey. Nobody out. The Hawks have scored runs in every inning but the second. 1 in the first, 1 in the third, 4th, and 5th. And here in the 6th, in a good position to do it again with a runner at second base. Nobody out. 1-1 count to James Dempsey, sophomore catcher. He waggles the bat quickly and calls for time and gets it. Actually, might have been the catcher, Jamison Beal, who asked for time. Either way, we're now ready for the 1-1. Curve in there, right down Broadway, strike 2. One and 2. Well, knowing what we know about perhaps this being the final inning, crucial to get this out. Ground ball bounce to shortstop, and Cummings can't make the play. Flash the glove at it. It rolls into shallow center field. Runner coming around to score, Pallow. And the throw down is cut off. Throw to home is cut off, I should say. 5-2, Forest Hills Eastern on the ground ball single up the middle. RBI hit for Dempsey. Just the second hit that's gotten to an outfielder for Forest Hills Eastern in this game. They've made the most of their opportunities as they try to improve to 11-0 early in their title defense, state title defense, I should say. They won everything there was to win last spring. Drew Patton hitting with a runner at first base and nobody out. 5 runs for the Hawks, all scored by the leadoff batter. It's been death by 1,000 cuts in this one for the Cougars. Not done yet, but now in some big trouble after missing their opportunity in the bottom half of the inning, as this pitch is a strike to Patton from Kaufman. The Cougars got walks from their first 2 hitters last inning, Kaufman and Geyser, then a strikeout of Cummings by the reliever Owen Mast, who came on, and now runner's picked off at first base. It's a courtesy runner, throw to second base, and he's out on the tag. Out goes 1, 3, 6. So courtesy runner put out after the catcher Dempsey reached on a single. 1 out in the top of the 6th. But as I was saying, the Cougars stranded that runner. Adam Wanzel lined one to center field, and it looked like that Kaufman either didn't know how many outs there were or was sure that ball was dropping in as Patton fouls this one back over the backstop. Either way, it was caught about chest high by the on-charging center fielder Fritzma, and he had an easiest throw of his life to second base to get the double play, double off Kaufman, and end the inning, unfortunately for Catholic Central. 1-2 now as that pitch was out of the zone from Kaufman. Kaufman kicks and deals. Outside fastball, 2-2. Ben Dingman due up next, regardless of what Patton does. With one away in the sixth. Curve down and in. Full count. First one in a while to Forest Hills Eastern. In fact, looking back at it, they've just had 3 full counts all day. 2 of them to Patton, though. Drew Patton's been a patient man at the plate. This is Matt Gajtka on the play-by-play, flying solo on the Cougar Baseball Network. Thanks again for listening. As the Cougars challenge the defending state champion. Swing and a miss. Outside heater swung through by Patton. He's down on strikes for the second time today, or second time in this game. This is game 2 of the doubleheader. The Cougars lost 4-1 in the opener, allowing the Hawks to improve to 10-0 and 7-0 in OK Gold. Catholic Central 3-7 overall, 2-4 in OK Gold. Here's Dingman hitting from the right side. Square stance at the plate. Kaufman, the windup and the pitch, sails high. Coming up in the bottom half, it's hitters 4, 5, 6 for Catholic Central. Might be their last wraps. Baxter, Pitt, and Passanaw. Down 3, or they will be at least. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball way in the dirt. Dingman slaps his bat in frustration. If Dingman reaches, it'll be the second baseman, Evan Tower, the number 9 hitter for the Hawks. Curveball bounced on 2 hops, will make it 3. It actually hit the lip of the infield and went under the glove of shortstop Cummings and into left center field. I was about to say 2 hops because it should have been, but it hit the edge of the infield, dirt, and stayed on the ground from there, and Cummings couldn't adjust to it.
Second baseman, number 17, Evan Tower.
Went through his legs. I think you got to call that an error, even though it was an unfortunate bounce. That's the second time that's happened to a Cougars infielder in this game. It also happened to Braxton Williams at third base back in inning number 3 with this hitter at the plate, Evan Tower, pardon me. And Tower calls for time before pitch 1. Third error against the Cougars in this game. They committed 3 in game 1, a couple of which were critical, helped the Hawks push a couple of runs across. Fouled back, 0-1. But as I was saying, Tower bounced or rolled, more appropriately. Ground ball down to third base in the third inning. It hit the third base bag and bounced up over the head of Braxton Williams into very shallow left field for, call it a cheap hit, but a hit nonetheless. And eventually Tower came around to score as we have a pickoff attempt at first base. Runner gets back. So 2 outs in the 6th still. And the pitch from Kaufman, curveball, looked like a good one, but stayed up according to the home plate umpire. Next up for Catholic Central, they'll play tomorrow at East Kentwood, 4 o'clock start time there. And then they're at Forest Hills Eastern to complete this 3-game set on Thursday. That's a 4 o'clock start as well. 1-1. Kaufman tries to throw down to pick off the runner again and again. No play. As for the Hawks, again, they'll play Catholic Central on Thursday. Then they'll have Portage Northern come in from the Kalamazoo area for a doubleheader on Friday. Looper, shallow center, back to make the catch on the run was Williams, the new second baseman for Catholic Central, as he moved across the diamond previous to that inning. Easy catch for him on the pop fly. Maybe the last chance for Catholic Central. That's our best guess here with the sun sinking low in the western sky. Cougars down 5-2 to Forest Hills Eastern. Stay with us on the Cougar Baseball Network.
For Forest Hills Eastern, top of the sixth, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left on. Score after 5.5 innings of play. Forest Hills Eastern 5, Catholic Central 2.
Play-by-play man's nightmare and a PA man's nightmare. Especially in football. It's all happening so fast. Here you can wait for a guy to turn around, whatever. Bottom of the sixth.
Bottom of the sixth for the Cougars.
This could be it for Catholic Central. With sunset approaching, and it's Baxter swinging and popping the first pitch from Mast toward the fence and toward the dugout for the Cougars, and it's off the roof of the dugout. No play for third baseman Paolo, who started game 1, struck out 14, setting the tone for today's doubleheader. It's Austin Baxter, then Jacob Pitt, and then Ben Passanoff for the Cougars. Jamison Beal, if anyone reaches. Called strike. It's 0-2 quickly against Baxter. The sun is scheduled to set in 15 minutes from now, 8:36. Cougars haven't scored a run since the third. They need 3 to force a tie. And perhaps a suspended game in that case. 4 to win it, you would imagine. Another foul ball at the plate, so we'll do it again 0-2. Owen Mast is ready. Curve ball grounded left side toward the hole. Coming across, the third baseman, Paolo, throws to first. And as you'd imagine, the pitcher's got a pretty darn good arm, and he showed it off there for the out. 5-3. Nailing Baxter by a half step.
13, Jacob Pitt.
And Baxter's a little bit gimpy moving back toward the Cougars' dugout. He gave it all he had. A slight tug on the hamstring or quad. Yeah, he's laboring as he jogs behind home plate. Give him credit for the effort, no doubt. Jacob Pitt, who singled and scored in the second, popped out to shortstop in the third. 1-0. Is the count to him, and make it 2-0. Fastball stays up. Ben passing on deck. Pitt, the tall stirrup socks. Batting gloves tucked into his back pocket, or his sliding gloves, I should say. Swings and fouls this straight back. Over the screen. His batting gloves are on, as you would imagine, at the plate. Oh, we've seen weirder things. Left-handed hitter, playing him to pull on the infield, are the Hawks. Swing and a miss on the off-speeder. 2-2. First baseman Stotts is just a few feet from the first base line. The second baseman Tower shaded in the hole. 2-2. Soft grounder over the mound. There is that second baseman moving toward his backhand side. Bobbles, and he can't make the play. Tower commits the error. Pitt is on. The Cougars have some life in the bottom of the sixth.
Third baseman, number 8, Ben Passanoff.
Ben Passanoff, and then Beal, should the inning extend. Shadows getting long. Mast, the reliever, throws over to first. No play. Attempts dipping into the mid-40s. We're going to get down to around 30 again tonight. Right now, skies are clear. That's probably why we're going to get down to about 30. Curveball catches the outside corner for strike one. The Hawks aiming to sweep this doubleheader on the road. Another curve. That one's way upstairs for ball one. Pitt taking a short lead. One more, Uncle Charlie, and that one's on the inside corner for strike two. One and two. Passanant is not swung yet. Waiting for something he can drive. He got it there, and he fouled it away. Off the mitt of the catcher, Dempsey, and halfway to the backstop. That was the fastball. Had to figure that was coming eventually, and it did after three straight curves. Mast is ready for the 1-2. Swinging as Passanant, and he pops it foul out of play. The Cougars need base runners. Can't imagine Pitt's going to be going anywhere at first, although they are holding him on. So there's a big hole there on the right side. If Passanant can poke it the opposite way. He tried to there on the curve, and again, a foul to the screen. Those lights on the scoreboard beyond right field getting brighter by the moment as the sun gets lower by the moment. Swing and a miss on a fastball upstairs. Strike three, out number two for the Cougars in the sixth. Likely, we haven't been told this officially, but likely the final inning of this game. This could be the final batter of the game if Beal can't find a way to reach. Jamison Beal stepping up. Braxton Williams is on deck. Catholic Central hanging on by its fingernails right now, trying to avoid the sweep. Powers ready? No, he'll throw on the quick step toward first. Pitt is back. Like I said, I don't think he's going anywhere. But Pitt creeps off a few steps. Pitch up and away. Dempsey, the catcher, faked a snap throw to first after that, but kept it in his back pocket. 1-0 the count. Beal walked in the second inning, reached on an error in the fourth. Takes a strike for 1-1. All comes down to this for Catholic Central. Curveball up out of the zone. 2-1. Beal is ready. So is Owen Mast on the mound. His 2-1 popped up and back over our heads. 2-2. Owen Mast trying to close this one out. Pick up a save. Breaking ball stays outside in the dirt. Blocked by Dempsey. The count runs full on his catching counterpart, Jamison Beal, the junior, hitting from the right side. Pitt's on first. The Cougars need more, though. Swinging, line drive, left field, base hit over the top of the third baseman. And it's runners at first and second now as Pitt will throw an anchor down on the bag. Clutch hit from Beal to keep this game going in all likelihood. Paolo didn't have a prayer to flag that one at third base. And, folks, the game has been called. Unfortunately, that's going to do it. The sun is about to set. We're about 5 minutes away from official sunset, but the Cougars aren't going to get a chance to hit here with 2 outs and 2 on. So anticlimactic ending to this one. Officially, it goes down as a 5-2 win for Forest Hills Eastern in the books. FHE is now 11-0 on the season, 8-0 in OK Gold, and these teams will prepare for a rematch on Thursday. at Forest Hills Eastern. In fact, they may just be pushing back the end of this game to Thursday. They could just be finishing that one. Only one game scheduled, so maybe it's not a victory for Forest Hills Eastern. Sorry, we can't give you anything definitive. We don't have a walkie-talkie connection down there to the field, to the umpires and the coaches. So I guess we'll find out. Sorry to leave you hanging there, folks, but the Cougars have 2 on if this game does get continued here. And Catholic Central has had a game already suspended and postponed in the middle of it against East Kentwood last week. So if we do pick this one up again, it's 2 on and 2 out with Braxton Williams coming to the plate, and the Hawks an out away from sweeping the doubleheader. So there you go. We'll leave it up in the air here on the Cougar Baseball Network. Our next broadcast, I can tell you this one, that game will not be called for darkness. It's going to be at 12 o'clock noon or whereabouts. It'll be the second game of a doubleheader for the Cougars against Forest Hills Central here at Wally Pipp Field. I'll have the play-by-play. Like I said, the first game's at 10, so maybe call it 12:30, but officially in the books right now is at 12 o'clock noon first pitch. Just saying it's unlikely to be that early there. So that's next time I'll be talking to you on the Cougar Baseball Network. Thank you for listening. And, again, sorry for the anticlimactic ending, but that's the way it goes when you don't have lights at the field. And that's how baseball was played way back when. You played until it got dark, and then that was it. So I guess we'll call it a throwback finish to our action today at the Cat. Talk to you next time. God bless and have a great rest of your week. We'll see you Saturday.
That is 5-2, right, Matt?
Yes.